Hello, everybody, and welcome back. Today is March 5th. Yesterday, we played our first session of the month after a little bit of break, and we played 9 hours and won $850. There wasn't any exciting spots. Games were a little slow, so there was really no hand history. So I'll just throw in entertaining hand history for you. The effective stack is around $200. It is an Elderman in the cutoff, and I'm in the big blind. So there was a raise in the hijack, and then the Elderman calls, and then the button calls, and I completed. I had King Jack offsuit, and the flop comes a Jack high board with two hearts. And so with the Elderman having a short stack, and there was a player between the original raiser between him. I thought that the better play here was to go ahead and just bet out and maybe put the original raiser in the tougher spot because he has to worry about the short stack squeezing. So it makes him play more honest. So I lead out for $40 into an $80 pot. Try to look weak and see if I could pick up a tail from and maybe induce a raise from the original raiser in the hijack. But he folds, and then the Elderman goes all in for another about just say $180. The button folds, and so I grab my chips. I put it out there, and then he flips over King Jack also, two black jacks, and he goes no hearts, no hearts. Of course, I have King Jack also. I don't have any hearts, so I put my stack down and I sit there and wait, and right when on the river the heart comes, I go bam, hearts, and he he just jumps up and gets scared, gets more like a shock, like despair, like then he looks, and it's more like a confused look, and then eventually he realized what happened, and it was more of a happy look. So he went from disappointed to confused to relieved within a second. It was just a fun moment, and it was a good opportunity to have some fun. And I thought it was it was hilarious. Other than that, the last 2 weeks I spent researching. Actually, I was invited into a online poker club. Poker Time CC is the app, and this is because of the coronavirus. The Chinese are all cooped up at home, so this was a Chinese site. So I got invited to play and test this out. And the games, wow, is super soft and it's crazy. The structure leads to a higher variance because it's a less than 100 BB, it's 3 blinds, and it's an ante. And after playing for about 2 weeks, I started doing research more, and then I went and I got a pre-flop opening range chart that was solved by the Russians about 2 years ago, and my friend gave this to me, and this is pretty much a GTO solved game, in terms of pre-flop opening ranges. But once he gave it to me, then I realized, is this the right path that I want to go? Yes, I can make 2 to 3 times as much as what I'm making now, but I lose all my freedom. I will be sitting at a computer, staring at a screen, clicking for who knows half all day long. I don't get to take my intermediate meditation break that I do at the poker table. I can't read at the poker table, and then I can't do any of my projects. And so the additional value of money the additional amount of money really has no value to me, because I don't see how it's going to help in terms of my quality of life and my life path. So I eventually just quit, and I just declined the opportunity, and I came back here, and this is where we're at. So that's it for the brief update. Let's get back to where we're going, and let's make sure that we don't fall too far off the path again. See you in a bit. Welcome back, guys. So today we will do a quick reflection. I think the topic of today we're going to reflect on is loneliness. Currently I am here by myself, but I am alone, but I'm not lonely. Conversely, I could be in a poker room full of people. I'm not alone, but I could be lonely. So alone and lonely is different, right? We can see that alone is the state of actuality, reality, whereas loneliness is a perception, the way we see things. So let's dive deeper into it, right? We said that everything starts with perception. From perception comes the mind, the senses, our sixth sense. We sense things, we feel things, and loneliness is one of those senses that we feel when we perceive things. So where does it go from? Let's go deeper, right? Why do we feel lonely? Well, most of the time we feel lonely because we don't have any attention. But why don't we, like, when we don't have any attention, we feel like we have no value anymore. There's a sense of no value in us. Like, nobody wants us, nobody likes us, we're worthless. And that's when we feel lonely. But then what do? We go out and we buy expensive jewelry, we buy nice clothes, and we put on ourselves to create this sense of value then. And then we go out and we try to garner attention, and then it gives us more value. But if we go back, we already said that this is delusional, right? This is the way that most people delude themselves and creating the false sense of value. We didn't generate anything more within us. We didn't do anything better. We didn't become better. All we did was put on a different skin, and then we feel like we have a sense of value. So if we want to really remove that sense of loneliness, then what we should do is try to cultivate real value within ourselves. Because when we cultivate real value, we're not trying to garner attention from anybody else. We're doing it for ourselves. And this self-cultivation, this garnering will actually improve us and give us real value. And from there, we'll have a better sense of confidence, security, and we don't need attention anymore. We know where we stand, and we are happy with who we are. And then we keep getting better and better. We never have that need for attention. Of course, it always feels good to get that attention because our senses is always there, right? We always, just like eating, it always tastes good. It always feels good to eat good food. It always feels good to get the attention. But we have to realize that it's a form of delusion, and that attention is just deluding us into thinking that we're valuable when from the outside, when we should realize that our value comes from the inside. And the more we create this real value within us, the less we depend on others for our happiness and for attention, for everything else. And from there, we were able to live a better life. We can move on through life, flow through life easily because we're not needing anything else. We already have everything we need. So it's good to be back. I hope that you have been working on your mental game. It doesn't take that much work. So today, just work on it a little bit and create yourself a sense of value, right? Even if you put in a little bit of work, you know that you put in work, and that is value there. Putting on expensive clothes, jewelry, posting pictures of selfies does not create real value for you. Real value comes from the inside first. So get started. I'll see you in a bit. See you tomorrow.